Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about something that separates the truly successful from the constantly struggling: a calm mind. Life will throw challenges at you. Some days will test your patience, shake your confidence, and push you to the edge. But the key to mastering life is not in controlling what happens to you. It's in controlling how you respond. A calm mind is like a well-trained soldier. It doesn't panic under pressure, it doesn't react emotionally, and it doesn't make decisions out of fear. You see, most people let life dictate their emotions. They wake up happy if the weather is good, they feel frustrated if traffic is bad. Their emotions are controlled by external events. But the truly wise have trained their minds to be steady, to be strong, and to remain calm no matter what happens. So how do you train your mind to be calm in every situation? Let me share a few key principles with you. You can't think straight in chaos. You must train yourself to pause before reacting. When the world speeds up, slow down. When people around you panic, breathe. Clarity doesn't come from noise, it comes from stillness. The moment you make decisions out of anger, frustration, or fear, you give away control. Don't let emotions dictate your choices. Calmness allows you to make the right move, not just the fastest move. Most stress comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. Focus on what's in your power, your attitude, your discipline, and your response. Let go of the rest. You can't wait for a crisis to start practicing calmness. Train every day. Meditate, breathe deeply, reflect. Build the habit of staying centered so when storms come, you're already steady. What do you tell yourself in difficult moments? Is it panic or is it, "I've got this"? Your inner dialogue shapes your reality. Train your mind to encourage, not discourage. Most of the time, stress comes from getting too involved in things that don't really matter. Step back. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? If not, don't let it steal your peace today. Negative people, toxic news, constant distractions. These rob you of your peace. Guard your mind like you guard your home. Be careful what you let in. A calm mind doesn't get stuck in complaining, it looks for solutions. Shift your focus from "why is this happening" to "what can I do about it?" You've overcome challenges before and you will again. Most problems aren't as big as they seem in the moment. Zoom out. Look at the bigger picture. Keep perspective. Calmness isn't something you practice once, it's a way of life. It's a decision you make daily. Decide right now that no matter what comes your way, you will stay composed, you will stay strong, and you will not let circumstances dictate your peace. You know, one of the biggest challenges in life is making the right decisions at the right time. But how do you do that when your mind is cluttered with worry, distractions, and stress? The answer is simple. You have to learn to be still. Most people react too quickly. They hear bad news and instantly panic. They face a problem and immediately assume the worst. They get caught up in the rush of life, moving faster and faster, thinking that speed will solve their problems. But speed without clarity is dangerous. It leads to mistakes. It leads to frustration, and it leads to regret. Have you ever noticed that when water is disturbed, it becomes cloudy, but when you let it sit, it becomes clear again? The same is true with your mind. When you're constantly reacting, running, and stressing, your thinking gets cloudy. You make impulsive choices. You say things you regret, and you miss the best solutions because you're too busy panicking. But when you learn to pause, when you learn to step back, suddenly everything starts to make sense. In every situation, take a moment to breathe. Give yourself space to think. When things seem overwhelming, don't rush into action. Get still first. The right answer will come not from chaos, but from clarity. And clarity comes when the mind is calm. The great ones, the truly successful, they don't let circumstances control them. They don't let emotions dictate their choices. They understand that the ability to remain still, to remain composed, is what allows them to see what others miss. They train themselves to stay steady when others panic, and because of that, they make better decisions, they see opportunities, and they navigate challenges with wisdom. So if you want to gain control over your life, if you want to make better choices, and if you want to move forward with confidence, start by training your mind to be still. Not once, not just when things get tough, but every day. Because when your mind is clear, your path will be too. One of the greatest mistakes people make is allowing emotions to run their lives. You see it all the time. Someone gets angry and says something they regret. Someone gets frustrated and quits too soon. Someone gets excited and makes a decision without thinking it through. And later, when the emotion fades, they look back and wonder, what was I thinking? The problem isn't that emotions exist. They're natural. They're part of being human. But they were never meant to be in charge. They were meant to inform, not to dictate. If you make choices based on how you feel in the moment, you'll spend your life cleaning up messes you could have avoided. Because emotions are temporary, but decisions have consequences. Think about this. Have you ever noticed that the best decisions in life aren't made in moments of extreme emotion? You don't find wisdom in anger. You don't find clarity in fear. You don't find sound judgment in excitement alone. The best decisions come when you step back, take a breath, and think clearly. The truly successful understand this. They don't let a bad mood ruin their day, and they don't let a moment of frustration throw them off course. They discipline their emotions. They train themselves to pause, to reflect, to look beyond the moment, because they know that while emotions come and go, the choices they make today will shape their future. So the next time you feel a surge of emotion, whether it's anger, fear, excitement, or frustration, don't react immediately. Give yourself time to think, step back, gain perspective, and ask yourself, am I making this decision because it's right or because it's what I feel right now? Because the difference between success and struggle is often just that, a moment of calm before making a choice. One of the greatest sources of stress in life comes from trying to control things that are simply out of our hands. People spend so much time worrying about what might happen, what others think, or how the world will react to them. But the truth is, no matter how much energy you spend, some things will always be beyond your control. Now think about this. What if you took all that energy you waste on things you can't change and put it into the things you can? Imagine the difference that would make. Instead of worrying about the economy, focus on building your skills. Instead of stressing about what others are doing, focus on your own discipline. Instead of getting frustrated about the past, focus on what you can do today to create a better future. The key is learning to recognize the difference. There are things in life you have complete control over, your attitude, your effort, your response to challenges. That's where your power is. But there are also things you will never control. The weather, the opinions of others, unexpected setbacks. If you allow those things to consume your thoughts, you'll always feel frustrated and powerless. But the moment you shift your focus to what you can control, everything changes. You see, successful people don't waste time complaining about the uncontrollable. They don't get stuck in frustration over things they can't fix. They take responsibility for what's in their hands and they let go of the rest. And because of that, they move forward while others stay stuck. So when faced with a challenge, ask yourself, is this something I can control? If the answer is yes, take action. If the answer is no, let it go. Because the sooner you release what you can't change, the sooner you can focus on what truly matters. And that, my friends, is how you regain control over your life. One of the biggest traps people fall into is letting their emotions take the driver's seat when making decisions. They get caught up in the heat of the moment. Anger flares up, fear creeps in, excitement takes over, and before they know it, they've made a choice that they'll regret later. The reason is simple. Emotions are powerful, but they're not always smart. Think about a time when you were frustrated and said something you wished you could take back. Or a time when fear stopped you from taking a great opportunity. Or when excitement made you jump into something without thinking it through. That's what happens when emotions dictate your choices. They push you toward decisions that feel right in the moment, but don't stand the test of time. The key to success isn't ignoring emotions. They serve a purpose. They can alert you to danger, inspire you to take action, or show you what matters most. But they should never be the decision maker. Because emotions change. They rise and fall. They come and go. And if you base your choices on them, your life will be unpredictable, up one day, down the next, constantly at the mercy of how you feel. The truly wise understand this. They don't let anger make their choices. They don't let fear hold them back. They don't let excitement blind them to the risks. Instead, they step back, take a breath, and give themselves time to think. They ask, is this the right decision or just the one that feels right in the moment? Because in the end, emotions will try to pull you in every direction. But the people who succeed, the ones who build strong businesses, strong relationships, and strong lives are the ones who learn to pause, to think, and to choose wisely. And that's a habit worth mastering. One of the greatest sources of frustration in life comes from trying to control things that are simply out of our hands. People stress over the economy, worry about what others think of them, get upset over things that happened years ago, all while ignoring the one thing they actually have power over: themselves. The truth is, no matter how much effort you put in, there will always be factors beyond your control. The weather, the stock market, other people's opinions, unexpected setbacks. None of these are in your hands. And yet, many people spend their entire lives worrying about them, arguing about them, and letting them dictate their happiness. But what if, instead of focusing on what you can't control, you put all that energy into what you can? You may not be able to control the economy, but you can control your work ethic. You may not be able to control how people treat you, but you can control how you respond. You may not be able to change the past, but you can control how you use today. And that shift in mindset changes everything. Think about a ship on the ocean. The captain can't control the wind, but he can adjust the sails. He can't control the waves, but he can control how he steers. Life is the same way. You don't need perfect conditions to succeed. You just need to master the things that are within your control. The most successful people understand this. They don't waste time complaining about things they can't change. They don't let setbacks throw them off course. Instead, they ask, what can I do? What's in my power? And then they focus all their energy there. So whenever you face a challenge, ask yourself this simple question: is this within my control? If the answer is yes, take action. If the answer is no, let it go. Because the moment you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you free yourself to focus on what truly matters. And that's how you take control of your life. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting until they're in the middle of a crisis to start working on their mindset. They wait until stress hits to try and be calm. They wait until a tough decision shows up to try and think clearly. They wait until fear takes over to try and build confidence. But by then it's too late. Because you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your preparation. Imagine an athlete who never trains, never practices, never builds endurance, but then expects to perform at their best on game day. It doesn't work that way. Strength isn't built in the moment you need it. It's built in the moments leading up to it. The same is true for your mind. If you want to be calm under pressure, you have to train for it before pressure shows up. If you want to be disciplined, you have to practice it daily, not just when you feel like it. Success isn't about sudden bursts of motivation. It's about consistency. It's about the small daily habits that prepare you for the big moments. Every time you practice patience when things don't go your way, you're strengthening your ability to stay calm when real challenges come. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're reinforcing your ability to focus when it really matters. Every time you take control of your thoughts instead of letting emotions control you, you're training yourself to make wise decisions under pressure. You don't build a strong mind by reading about it once. You build it by working on it every single day. The key is to make personal growth a habit, not just an emergency response. Train your mind when things are calm, so when life throws a storm your way, you don't have to wonder how to handle it. You'll already know. Because the truth is, you don't become strong in the moment of battle. You become strong in the moments leading up to it. The way you talk to yourself matters more than you think. Every day, there's a conversation happening in your mind. One that no one else can hear but has the power to shape your entire life. The question is, what are you telling yourself? Most people don't even realize how much negativity they let into their own minds. They miss an opportunity and say, I'm not good enough. They make a mistake and say, I always mess things up. I'll never figure this out. And before they know it, those words become their reality. Because here's the truth, your mind believes what you tell it, whether it's good or bad. Now, imagine treating a friend the way you sometimes treat yourself. If a friend tried something new and failed, would you say, well, you're just not smart enough? If they faced a challenge, would you say you should probably give up now? Of course not. You'd encourage them. You'd remind them of their strengths. You'd tell them to keep going. So why wouldn't you do the same for yourself? The people who succeed in life have trained their self-talk. They don't let negative words take root in their minds. When they fail, they say, that was a lesson, not a defeat. When they struggle, they say, I'm getting stronger through this. When doubt creeps in, they say, I am capable, I am prepared, and I will figure this out. Your words are shaping your future, whether you realize it or not. If you constantly tell yourself you're not good enough, you'll act like someone who isn't good enough. If you tell yourself you're capable, strong, and determined, you'll start making choices that reflect that. So, starting today, pay attention to how you talk to yourself. When a negative thought shows up, don't let it stay. Replace it with something stronger, something empowering, because the truth is, the most important conversation you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. Life is too short to get caught up in unnecessary drama. Yet so many people spend their energy worrying about things that don't really matter, reacting to every little problem and getting pulled into negativity that has nothing to do with their goals. They waste valuable time on gossip, petty arguments, and emotional battles that lead nowhere. But here's the truth. You can't move forward if you're constantly getting dragged into distractions. Think about it. Have you ever seen a truly successful person caught up in drama? Do the great leaders, the high achievers, the people making a real impact spend their time arguing over nonsense or feeding into negativity? Of course not, because they know their energy is too valuable to waste. They understand that drama is a trap. It keeps you emotionally exhausted, distracted, and focused on things that don't serve your future. Now, drama can come in many forms. Sometimes it's external, people pulling you into their problems, unnecessary conflicts, toxic relationships. Other times it's internal, the voice in your head creating stress, overreacting, blowing things out of proportion. Either way, if you want to succeed, you have to train yourself to rise above it. The key is learning to step back. Not everything requires your reaction. Not every argument needs your participation. Not every problem is yours to solve. When you detach from the drama, you gain clarity, you make better decisions, you keep your focus on what truly matters, and when you do that, life gets a whole lot simpler. So, the next time drama knocks on your door, pause and ask yourself, is this helping me grow, or is it just stealing my energy? If it's not serving your future, let it go, because the sooner you detach from the distractions, the faster you'll move toward your real goals. Your energy is one of the most valuable assets you have. It affects how you think, how you feel, and how you perform. Yet most people spend their days giving it away to things that drain them. Negative people, pointless arguments, distractions that lead nowhere, and then they wonder why they feel exhausted, unmotivated, and stuck. But the truth is, if you don't protect your energy, no one else will. Think of your energy like a bank account. Every day you make deposits and withdrawals. The problem is, most people allow too many unnecessary withdrawals. Worrying about things they can't change, engaging in drama, spending time with people who bring them down. Over time, their account runs low, and suddenly, they don't have the energy to focus on their goals, to stay disciplined, or to keep a positive mindset. But here's the good news. You get to control where your energy goes. You get to decide who and what deserves your time and attention. And that means making some changes. It means being intentional about who you surround yourself with. It means setting boundaries with people who drain you. It means choosing to focus on things that build you up rather than wear you down. Successful people don't waste their energy on things that don't serve them. They don't let negativity take up space in their minds. They don't let distractions pull them away from their purpose. They guard their energy like a prized possession because they know that where their energy goes, their life follows. So starting today, pay attention. Notice where your energy is going. If something is draining you without adding value, step away from it. Protect your energy like your future depends on it, because it does. One of the greatest differences between those who succeed and those who struggle is where they place their focus. Some people spend all their time talking about their problems, how unfair life is, how difficult things have become, how nothing ever seems to go their way. But the people who move forward, they do something different. They focus on solutions, not problems. Now, let's be clear, challenges are real. Obstacles exist, but dwelling on them won't make them disappear. Complaining won't make things better. Worrying won't fix anything. The only thing that changes a situation is action, and action starts with a shift in focus. Think about this. When you stare at a problem too long, it grows. It starts to feel bigger, heavier, more overwhelming. But when you shift your focus to what can be done, suddenly doors start to open. Your mind begins searching for answers instead of excuses. You move from feeling stuck to feeling in control. The most successful people in life don't avoid problems. They face them head on. But they don't waste time drowning in negativity. Instead, they ask better questions. What's the next step? What can I do right now? Who can help me? What lesson can I learn from this? You see, there are two types of people: those who see a problem and stop, and those who see a problem and start working on a way through it. Which one you choose to be will determine the course of your life. So starting today, catch yourself when you start focusing too much on what's wrong. Instead, train your mind to ask, what's the solution? Because when you do that, you stop being a victim of your circumstances and start being the creator of your future. One of the most valuable skills you can develop in life is the ability to keep perspective. Because let's face it, life will test you. There will be setbacks, disappointments, moments of frustration. Things won't always go the way you plan, but in those moments, your success will depend on one thing: how you choose to see the situation. See, most people get caught up in the moment. When something goes wrong, they react as if it's the end of the world. They magnify the problem, they let emotions take over, they forget that this is just one chapter, not the whole book. But the people who move forward, the ones who build strong lives and strong futures, have learned to step back and see the bigger picture. Think about it. How many times in your life have you stressed over something that in hindsight wasn't worth it? How many moments felt like disasters at the time, but later turned into lessons or even blessings in disguise? That's perspective. It's the ability to zoom out and remind yourself, this too shall pass. Perspective is what keeps you from making permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. It's what stops you from giving up when things get tough. It's what allows you to stay calm, stay focused, and stay on track, even when life throws challenges your way. The truly successful don't let small problems knock them off course. They ask themselves, will this matter a year from now? If the answer is no, they don't waste energy on it. They remind themselves that setbacks are temporary, but the way they handle them can shape their future. So when life gets difficult, take a step back, breathe, ask yourself, what's the lesson here? How can I grow from this? Because the moment you shift your perspective, everything changes. And that's how you keep moving forward, no matter what life throws your way.